and start the action, that will be great. I can't hear you, Sam. What happened? I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now we hear you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome as the 203K in a Box proudly presents the All-Power Team Call for April 2017. This is your 203K Princess, Samantha, coming to you live, of course, from St. Cloud, Florida. I want to introduce the 203K Duchess. She is a little fussy right now, so we won't be on the call for very long.
I would be fussy, too, if somebody forced me to wear an Eagles onesie.
Yes, I see Chad. We have Chad Dunham on the call, and he'll be very happy to see our Eagles logos that we have on for the 2017 NFL Draft going on right now. But Your Majesty, I hear we have a very special treat for our members. Take it away. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. And Chad just kept in the box, go Eagles. All right, so Chad, I can cut you off at the knees, too. Remember, I'm going to push you off a roof next Friday.
Okay.
So
good
evening, everyone, and welcome to the All-Power Team Call for April 2017. As Samantha mentioned, I am your host, Catherine Hall, creator of the 203K in a Box FHA Consultant Training and Marketing System and Executive Director of the National Association of FHA Consultants. What we're going to do today is we're going to have a lot of things going on. I have a very big agenda of what I want to go over. And for those of you who are new to the call, welcome. I invited many of you who are coming to the 203K House of Horrors to participate in this webinar today. And so I just want to welcome you. So here's the format tonight for the webinar. This is an interactive conversation, unlike our tech calls, which are in the second Thursday morning. That is straight up just 90 minutes of information and education. This is where you guys give your feedback. Talk about what's new with you, what's going on in your world, what's successful, what challenges you're having, get some feedback from all of us. And so that's what's going to happen for the last half of this call. The first half of this call, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. And one of the first things that I want to share with you is this. So I don't know if you should be able to see my screen. So I'm going to lower everybody's hands and mute the Duchess over there. So raise your hand if you can see the video cam, the webinar of me. Wait, okay, perfect. So you can see me. So now what you're looking at, of course it's red. This is my new body camera, okay, that I'm now wearing on all inspection activities. And it's a cube. And what you can see here is it actually snaps out. It just snaps into place. And I can take it out and then I hook it up to my laptop. It charges. It can go for a whole day. It takes a 32 gig chip. And I actually did my first job with this was a draw inspection. I did this the other day, and I'm going to share with you now because I am so excited because of the fact that with this little tiny thing here right underneath my chin, as it were, I'm going to be able to really give you guys some good training, good video education, as if you were right here with me. So let me stop this video, okay, because all I have to do is turn this off. All right, so I'm going to stop the video web sharing. Okay, so I turned that off. And now we're going to show the screen. All right, so it's coming up. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the video that I took. I did a draw inspection the other day, and the borrower was not present, and the contractor was not present. He had one of his employees who was working on the project there to meet me. So what I did was I videotaped the entire draw inspection. So now, I want you to know this little webcam here that I have strapped to my chest is not the latest version, all right? So just want to let you know, just go back to a video. This little cube, if I can get it out, once I put it in, it's kind of hard to get it off while it's on me. See if I can push it up. Okay, let's take it off the easy way. There, okay, so this little webcam, it just pops out. Okay, the camera itself, it's got a magnetic base, so we can stick to anything. So here I just stuck it to my microphone. So this sticks to anything you want. The mounting clip I have here, this was $9. Okay, so this contraption here that you're looking at, this cost me $9, and this was $59. This is not the newest model. They have some now out there. They're like $150, $180. But I bought 4 of them, one for each inspector. I wasn't spending $180 on these people. So I just got the cheaper version, the older model, and If you look at the very back of it, it has this little spinner, so I can actually just, open it with a penny. I had the penny here. Okay, so I just open it with the penny, and there you can see where I put in the micro USB cable to hook it to the laptop. This is where I put the SD card, and this is where I actually change it from 1080 to 720 DPI. Okay, so it's real simple. It's got nothing to it, and so for $70 total, okay, $59 for this and $9.99 for this on Amazon.com, you've got a whole setup going on. All right, so let me show you the quality of the output of what this could do. So let me show you what this did for me, which is going to be a great tool, particularly if your clients are not present at your draw inspections. So here I'm going to start this up, and I'm going to move the microphone over to the speaker so it can play it. So just ready, get set, go.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I texted Anthony. He said he might even be here, but he said everything was pretty much straightforward for me to inspect. Okay. And I'm Catherine.
Hello, I'm Franklin.
Franklin or
Yeah,
Frank?
Franklin.
Franklin, how are you? Good. Nice to meet you. Do we have the electric on? The electric on?
Yeah.
Have some switches? No. That's on, yeah. Okay, there it is.
Now, just to let
Perfect.
you know, this camera
Okay,
has
good.
no
Okay.
light.
All right,
It's all
so
ambient light.
he says he's done 80% of the interior doors. He's got the final bit of partition walls finished. He's got the plaster and drywalling 99%.
Now, you'll notice that I'm not mentioning any dollar amounts because I don't know at what level this employee is as far as his understanding of what this contractor is getting paid. So whenever you are around a contractor's employees or the subcontractors, use percentages, don't use numbers, okay, because the contractor will respect that you're not letting them know, because the contractor may be getting paid, $5,000, but he might be only paying his subs $3,500. Okay, so never mention numbers except to the general contractor, and if he says, okay, you can talk in front of this guy, he's my partner. So never mention numbers, okay? So let's continue just real briefly. It's only 5 minutes.
Which is good, just like a little bit of touch-up stuff. 100% of the wood trim, okay? Ceramic tile, 90%, and some more cleanup numbers. So we'll start upstairs, check out the doors and things, the wood trim in all areas. Okay, all right, so we'll start back here. All right, so we've got all our room trimmed out. And good.
Now this is also something I think is really cool, that the way I have this device positioned on my chest, you actually can see the picture that I'm taking as I'm taking it. So that can give you an idea on the kind and quality of the pictures that I'm taking for the lender for the draws.
Okay, so we've trimmed out. So it's not taking 100% of the doors because he doesn't have the knobs and the strike plate and the lock set. Okay. All right, good. So now, he doesn't have this trimmed. Okay, so I'm not giving 100% on trim because that's not done yet. Yeah, okay, so ceramic tile. Okay. All right, good. All right, very nice. All right, good. Trimmed out. Okay, tile, no door on here, so again, I'm not 100%ing on the doors. Here's a door here. That must be for the closet and for the bathroom. Okay, so that's okay. No, that's all right. I'm not going to. Okay, so I don't think he asked for 100% because he knows he doesn't have any of his strike plates on. Closet doors are in. Good. Okay, this bedroom door is on. These closet doors here, good. Okay, all of our trim work is looking good here, except nothing. All right, good. I got all that trim done. That bedroom door is done. All right, so that looks good. And where is my returns up there? Okay, so nothing is done with the steps. Okay, so here on the first floor, you've got the trim, you've got the painting, you've got crown trim molding here, and here as well. Okay, so, okay. So we've got that trim done.
So what I was doing at this point was I was afraid that the camera was blocking the other camera, so I lifted it way up higher.
Sure. All right, so this isn't trimmed out either. Okay. Finished painting is not done. Shoot. All right, so let me check again on the list of things that I'm looking at. Okay, so I see you gave him some paint samples over there. All right, so interior doors. Okay, he's only at the 88% on the doors, so I'm okay with that. All right, so that's good. And partition walls, that's 100% out, and that's fine. Plaster and drywall, that's 99%, and that's fine. All right, painting. He's taking 100% on paint, but we're not 100% on paint. I'm going to ask him about that. Wood trim, we're not 100% on wood trim, so that's going to be a...
Okay, so that was the first, and now, as you can see, that was a very quick draw inspection. I actually was only in the property for 10 minutes, all right, and made over $250 because, you know, for that. So with this camera, the way this camera works is it takes pictures in increments of 5-minute segments. So that was the first 5 minutes, and so in the second 5 minutes, what you would have heard was that I looked into the paperwork and saw that he was only supposed to prep and primer coat only, not full finished painting. And so because he wasn't required to do finished painting, I could pay him 100% because obviously the finished painting that he was doing was either going to come out of contingency or came out of the borrower's pocket. So now I'm going to play this next 5 minutes because it's going to explain to you how I'm going to talk to the contractor when I see him about why I'm not paying 100%. So let me open this one up. Again, it's only 5-minute increments, and you can see I just took it, I just was there for just 10 minutes. So now before I play this next, do you guys, what do you guys think about the quality of this camera? Isn't this amazing for 59 bucks? Raise your hand if you think this is something you might want to invest in. Absolutely, because on home inspections, you know, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and no one can say you didn't say something when it's right there, and the sound quality is incredible, and the picture, again, there was no lights. There was no lighting on in that. That was totally the ambient light from the room. It's actually impressive. I was pretty impressed, pretty impressed with this. So let's go to, open this one up, and you have to use a special player.
Ceramic tile, 91%, I'm okay with that. And cleanup. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else that I'm looking at. The paint is not 100%, okay, because that room's not finished.
No, that's one of the kitchen.
It's still not finished. We're looking for windows.
Oh,
Okay, that's not finished. So you can't be 100% until you are 100%.
okay.
And I don't think there's anything in the basement. Okay, it was just doors, trim, paint. Okay, so I will send him a text message. So I'm okay. Everything is fine. Yeah, because he hasn't finished the painting yet. And let me double check and see what the number required. Because if it said primer coat only, then that is 100%. But if it was for finished painting, then that's not 100%. And I'll just text him. All right, so, and cleanup, yeah, I can see he's done a lot of cleanup, which is great. Okay, all right, so this was for primer coat only. Interior paint includes single color no accent walls included, primer coat only. All right, so that was primer coat only. So he's done finish painting, so that's something that is okay. So I can 100% him because that's not what was included. That's something he must be doing extra. All right, so I'm okay with the paint. I'm not okay with the trim. Let him know, okay, that the hallway section's not trimmed out and the kitchen's not trimmed. Okay, so I let him know that that's the only thing I'm going to deduct for.
Yes,
For the cabinets, I understand, but I can't pay it till it's 100% done. And the ceramic tile is good. All right, so that was easy. Okay, thank you so much, Franklin.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Tell Anthony I said hi, and I'll see him next week. I'll text him.
Okay.
I'll text him because I'm doing draws next week. I'm doing draws again on Friday of this week, and then I'll be doing draws again for 10 days. So if he needs to draw, he'll have to get it done pretty soon. Okay? Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay. So that was my inspection. That was my draw inspection, and it was a 10-minute inspection. So now, as you all know, this meeting that we have at the end of the month is open, interactive, open mic. So I'm going to unmic you all. So if you have any comments you want to share, just let me know. And just if you click it so that you are muting yourself, that way if you want to unmute yourself to ask a question, please feel free to do so. So I've unmuted everybody on the webinar except for someone who is heavily breathing. Stop the heavy breathing, Jack. So now I'm unmuting everybody so you can mute yourselves. Okay, and that way you don't have to raise your hand. Okay. Okay, so the question, Jonathan, that you had was what kind of permissions do we need to video draws? Basically, what I'm going to do, because it will basically alleviate all responsibility going forward, is I'm going to include verbiage in my draw inspection agreement that they sign electronically before I go out to every property, and I have a separate draw agreement that says, you know, performing a draw inspection of the property to determine the completeness of the work as per the request by the contractor. It's understood by all parties, and I'll send you all a copy of this because it is in the ISN, and so basically it says, you know, I'm going by what the contractor has said. If you're not present, it's understood that you've already reviewed this work and accept the work that's and accept the quality of the work in advance, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just simply going to add to that, and also to my home inspection agreements. I'm going to add it to my 203K pre-inspection feasibility agreement, and it's going to say, for quality assurance and training purposes, this inspection may be videotaped. Okay, so Jonathan, you are unmuted. Does that answer your question? Do you think that would work for you? I'm trying to unmute. Okay, great. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. All right, perfect. Yeah, so you're self-muted. All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, so for this, I was so impressed with the quality of this recording that it was, you know, like I said, I got it for $75 total, and my plan was, okay, even if the pictures are lousy, it's going to be a quality control measure. And it's going to basically be a way I can check up on all my inspectors and see what are you doing, how are you doing it, etc., and what did you say and what are you getting done. But since the quality is so good with this video, what we're actually probably going to do, especially with home inspections, and particularly for our out-of-town clients who can't be at the inspection, I'm going to sell this to them. I'd say for an upsell charge, I will provide them with a, yeah, I was loud at the house. So I actually turned the volume up on my computer to really high so you guys could hear it because it was coming through the speakers onto the mic, so I made it louder, but it wasn't too loud when you're listening to it normally. So you actually can record it so that you actually can replay it and save it so that you don't have any audio, that you can only have video if you want. So there's multiple things you can do with it. But if I have an out-of-town client who wants to really get a good feel for what we've done, you have to compile all those little 5-minute increments into one video. So if it's a 2-hour inspection, okay, so that's 30 little segments, all right, or something like that. Let's see, what's 60 times 5? 25, what's 36 times, what is, I don't know, okay, I can't do math in my head. Anyway, so I would just basically say, you know what, for compiling the program, yeah, I need to, charge you a fee. I might charge like $50, $75, I don't know. I'll put it on a nice DVD or maybe upload it to a YouTube video and brand it as a private video in our Value Home Inspections YouTube page that the clients could have to go to our page and put in a special code. So I've got all kind of branding and marketing plans with this video camera now that I see what the quality is. And so for the, and here's the thing, at 1080 DPI, it filmed about, I don't know, what did it film? It filmed about an hour and a half, I think. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. I had another 10 minutes available. So it filmed an hour at 1080 DPI. If I went down to 720, which is what I'm going to test it on next, to see how the quality looks on 720, which I'm sure it's probably not going to be that much less of value, of quality, then I'm probably going to be able to get double and get 2 hours worth. And so from that perspective, you might want to have multiple 32 gig chips, which they're cheap to buy today, micro SD cards, and then take one out and just have one in a little envelope for each inspection that you do that day. And that way you can keep track of them. So this is something that is going to be a technology that I'm going to be exploring, not just for us, not just for me, for my clients, my home inspections and things, but for you, because now when I'm doing an actual feasibility study or I'm doing a contractor bid meeting, I can actually have that on my chest and record it, and then I can give that recording to you guys so you actually have the ability to see what I'm saying and how I'm doing it, just as if you were here and live, from, what is it, live from New York, okay, it's Saturday night, well, live from Philadelphia or live from St. Cloud, it'll be 203K Queen. All right, so thank you all so much. I'm hoping that was something that you guys, how many of you are currently using video cameras with your inspections right now? Anyone currently using it? Raise your hand if you are. So Ludwig is doing it. I see he raised his hand. Patrick Worrell, Pat's doing it. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so with that being said, then this is something new to the majority of you. Okay, great. So I think it's something easy. Like I said, Amazon.com, 2-day mail, it'll be in your hands. Now, of course, I got the red camera, okay? So, they had it. It comes in black and blue, but you know me, had to be red. All right, so that's the first topic I wanted to get over, go talking about. The second thing I want to do is I want to ask you guys a question. So I'm putting up a poll, and so I'm going to ask if you could please, this is the interactive time, and for those of you who've been on this call, you know that it gets very interactive very shortly. In a very short period of time, I'm going to ask each of you to share. So I'm putting up a poll. So I'm launching this poll right now. So on your screen, you should see the question, how many 203K projects do you have ongoing right now? So if you could just, how many are you working on right now? So please click a button that represents where you're at in your 203K activities. And I understand that we have several people on this call who are new to the whole world of 203K who are going to be joining us at Boulder, Colorado next week. And I wanted to give them a feel for what our community is like and invited them to this webinar. So welcome those of you who are our House of Horror attendee guests today. So keep going, guys. And just got a few more people I'm waiting to put in a poll. Okay. And we're at, what is this? We're at 85%. So one more person. If you click your button, we're going to be good. So I'll wait for another 5 seconds. And I'm going to close it. So this is the good news. And there I'm going to share the poll. So as you can see, of those of you who are on the call today, it's almost evenly split between those who are doing between 1 and 3 jobs and none who are still working on either certification or waiting for their bids to come back, or waiting for their package to come back from HUD, or those of you who are, as I said, new to the whole industry, and that probably skewed the number a little bit because we have some non-consultants on the call today. But so what that says to you, especially those of you who are new to this industry, just got your certification, and the poll's not showing? I wonder why. Let's see, I did the share button. It says audience view. Let me go back here to attendees. Raise your hand if you see the poll. Okay, yeah, so some of you do see it. Okay, so must be something slow on your computer, Jonathan, where it's not coming up. So that basically says that for those of you who are considering joining our community, you're going to be amongst friends. You're going to be with people who are just like you. Now, and I know, Jonathan, you've done more than 3, so you probably were my holdout who didn't put your numbers in there. But you guys are with people who are new to the industry. And Tom Kruger and Vince Vargas, I know you guys have done more than 3 too, so you were my holdouts. So it looks like Jonathan's computer dropped him offline, but he's from Colorado. You'll meet him all next week. So with that being said, this is the situation that we have here. We're here working together, and that's why, especially in the tech call, most importantly, but in this call, as you see, we're here to train and educate you to help you understand a lot about what you're doing in your industry and what's going on in your world. And so the next poll that I'm going to ask, I have a couple of polls. I'm going to hide that one, okay? Now one more question, and then I have 2 more that I'm going to give at the end. So this is the last one I'm going to give till the end. And so now we are preparing our second half of 2017 for what we're going to cover in our All Power Team Tech Calls, and also what are the things that we're going to talk about at the upcoming 203K Discovery Days and the NAFAC FHA Consultant Conference in Fort Lauderdale. And so I want to get a feel from you guys and ladies what you want us to focus on. So please look at the options and check a button, okay? Which of these options do you want us to focus on in upcoming months? Back office support, how to answer the telephones, insurance issues. Do you want me to bring on someone who can talk about insurance? Vendor discounts, some things. I know we provide you with discount on merchant service accounts, fees for merchant service providers. We are working on a discount with ProLab for your mold testing equipment. So what other things do you want NAFAC to start providing you? We are seriously working on an option to create a 203K consultant call center where we would have a, I'm sure you're familiar with the other programs such as, RWS call center, Perceptionist, Answer Call. There are a lot of them out there. But if any of you are using any of those call centers, anyone on the call using any of the call centers that are available right now? Raise your hand if you're using any of the existing call centers. Okay, so a lot of you are. Okay, great. So I'm going to lower your hands, and I'm going to pick on you, Chad. So Chad, unmute yourself. So Chad,
hello, Catherine.
Hey, Eagles fan. So Chad, how well do you find the call centers handling your 203K calls?
The call center I use, when I talked to them as I was getting everything set up, they said that they're pretty aware of the 203K, so they're able to take some information, they're able to answer some questions, but quite frequently they still always refer them to me, and I have it set up that for them to give out my personal cell phone number, that way they don't end up in the call center again.
Excellent. Yeah. So I'm sure, and so for those of you, for the other of you who are using call centers, raise your hand if you're finding the similar experience that for the most part they're really a little bit light in their ability to properly handle 203K calls. Raise your hand if that's the condition that you find. Okay. So a good number of you are raising your hand as well. So we're looking to create a call center that would be a full-service call center that can handle your home inspections, but more importantly, can handle your 203Ks. And as we have a lot of consultants right now who are looking to make 203Ks their sole business model, they need a resource that can handle 203K consulting. So we're working on that for you. It may be a situation that you might have 2 call centers. You have the one call center for your regular phone answering and your home inspection activities. And then if someone calls and asks for a 203K, they transfer the call to the NAFAC call center where we would answer, I forget your home inspection company name, Chad. So I'll just say Chad Dunham Home Inspections, 203K division, how may I help you? And then you can have that taken care of for you and be able to get that questions answered. And do you have your septic inspection? And does it have a well? And are utilities on? And do you know if you get them to, all those things answered to save your time, to free you up. And that they, of course, being able to have someone who is capable of entering their information for you in your Genesis directly and or into your ISN would also be something that would be helpful. So that's the biggest thing that we're planning on doing. So as I close this poll out and share it, I'm happy to see that 68% of you want back office support and telephone answering as the leading thing that you'd like us to focus on providing as a resource for you all moving forward. So that's definitely something that we're working on. Okay, so I'm going to hide that poll. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about, and again, I'm only going to talk for another 15 minutes because then the next 45 minutes is going to be devoted to all of you. And we have a nice group today. We have about 13 people. Usually we're in the 20s or the 25s. And so it's a nice group, so I can give everybody a good 3 to 4 minutes to explain and ask questions or get into any issues they want. But what I'm going to share right now, first of all, is for those of you who are using ISN, we sent out an email, and we also posted on the Power Team Skype group the opportunity to click a button and to be included and have your company receive the button, have it turned on so that you could actually use ISN with your system. Okay, so the question is that that was a, let me go to that right now. Okay. Hang on, let me go back. And let's see where it is. Okay, great. So what I'm sharing on the screen now, and I'm going to also share it in the chat box here. Okay, this was from our Power Team Tech group, and here you say here, this was a link that you could click that link and be able to get enrolled in receive all of the autoresponders and emails that I set up in my 203K, in my company for 203K. You can actually have them all available so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So now I'm going to hit the send button right now in the chat box here, so that if you didn't see this in ISN, if you did not see this back on March 30th, if you didn't see this information, you actually can do it right out. So I'll copy that message now, and I'm going to send it again right now on Skype. I'll paste it as a text. So let me go down to the bottom. And there it is again. So I put it as a posting on today's Skype, and also I just sent it to you on the chat box. All right, so ISN is a valuable resource. So what I wanted to talk about today, however, a lot of you have had questions about what to do with permits and allowable fees. That has been an issue that lately has been coming up repeatedly on the chat line, and so if we get something that more than 2 people ask about, it means I need to get some education going. So I'm going to log into my company, Genesis account, and I want to talk about permits. Excuse me. As again, I'm only going to take about 15 minutes for this. Go to my projects. It's a little slow because I have so much running on here. All right, perfect. All right, so I'm going to go to a project where I'm in Work Write-Up. All right, so I'll take this one here. Okay, so now let me go back out to the projects. I want to go in one that is in feasibility, actually. Let's see, do I have any that's in preliminary work write-up? Looking at them here, I can actually find that out very easily by just going up here to active projects. And look at that, I have none that are in preliminary work write-up. I've got all my jobs done. All of my projects are either in bid, work write-up, or draw. And so that tells me good. So, but let's take a look at a preliminary feasibility report. Now, first of all, you need to understand that it's one of the reasons why you are allowed to delay getting the report out to the client, because you are responsible to find out what is going to be needed with regard to the permits. Oops. Let me open up a copy of the preliminary feasibility report. So when I created this feasibility report, I contacted the municipality. So you see the inspection date was August the 10th. But you see that the report was delivered on September the 8th, 9/8. Why? Because it took a while for me to get this township information. Also, I had to get some details with regard to structural engineering. So now you can see here that I need a general building permit, an HVAC permit, electrical permit, and the plumbing permit, and that all of these will require an inspection prior to the project being completed. And you can see here the cost, if any, is listed on this documentation. Now, when you're doing your permit fees, you need to contact the municipality to find out what are the fees that are required to do this project. Now, for me, I've been doing it so long, I pretty much know what they are. And it's a good thing I do, because the City of Philadelphia Department of Licensing and Inspections is horrible. Okay, even their website is, so right here you can see most municipalities nowadays will have a section called Permits and Certifications, where it should be telling you what are the permits that you need. So, building permit, zoning permit, electrical, plumbing, complete demo permit, hot works permits, use of explode, okay, all these fun things, but the important thing is, let's just take our building permit. Most townships have this in their website. So here you can see new construction, alterations and additions, changes in the occupancy classification, modifications of fire suppression or mechanical systems, and then it has some more things here. And then processing time for 1 and 2 family dwelling, 15 days. All other properties, 20 days, and here's your filing fee. So your filing fee is $25. Okay, then there's lists of processing time and filing fees in PDF form. And then you have an accelerated plan review. So if you want to get this done in 1 day, you can pay a fee to the City of Philadelphia of $540. Is that pathetic or what? Okay, so that tells you that that 15 days usually turns out to be like 50. And then you have your forms, and then there's the easy permit form. And then you have the specific requirements and all the different fees that are attached to each one. So now here's the situation. There is a contractor requirement for most permit that all work must be performed by a licensed Philadelphia contractor with the following exceptions. Work may be performed by an owner residing on the president. Okay, work may be performed by an existing 1 to 2 family dweller, by a registered PA home improvement contractor maintaining a Philadelphia commercial activity license. Okay, so it's either a licensed Philadelphia contractor or an improvement company that holds a commercial activity license. They want their money. And so if you have a project and you are working with a client and they're bringing contractors from out of the city that you're in, you may want to check to see what is the licensing requirement that this contractor has to have. So you can see here that there's one requirement that they have to have a bond. There's $100 for general contractor. So in order to get this, someone asked me, a consultant said to me, the contractor wants to add the cost of the fee to get the license to do the work in the city for this customer. He wanted to add that to the client's fees in the scope of work. So now, by a show of hands, should the fee to become a licensed general contractor in a city be something that should be passed on to the consumer? Raise your hand if you say yes. We've got 1 yes, 2 yeses. Okay, well, the answer is if the borrower is willing to do so, then you can do it. There's no there's no thing that says HUD that says they cannot allow that as a fee, and it would just be part of the fees. However, for my money, his license in the city of Philadelphia is going to last a lot longer than this project. Why should I pay for something he's going to continue using after my project is completed? Now, if this is an annual license, or I'm not sure if it's an annual or whatever, but let's say this is an annual license, you got to pay $100 every year. Then I'm going to be working with you for 3 months, so I'll prorate it and I'll pay 30% of what your fee will be, but I'm not paying 100%. That's how I would be, okay? So that's what my take is, that no, this is something that you have as a cost of doing business. That to me is like having a contractor say, well, I need you to pay for the Sawzall that I'm going to have to buy to do your project. I don't think so, because you're going to take that Sawzall with you and use it for many months to come or years to come. All right, so that's something to consider. So you might be able to do your research of finding out what permits that you're going to need right there from the website. So now I already know that there's going to be a filing fee that's going to eat out some of this money of $25 on top of what the fees are. And if I'd gone through that website, it would have said $10 for a new toilet, $15 for kitchen sink, et cetera, and I would have basically looked at that and said, forget all this, I'm just going to make it $200, okay? So now here's the thing. This is your acknowledgement right here. 203K Consultant, this is my ID number, by signing, the consultant certifies that she or he has verified the above information with the municipality. So now by a show of hands, by my searching on that website and looking up what those prerequisites are for the permit and seeing that permits are required for plumbing, electric, heating, and roofing, etc., have I verified it with the municipality? Raise your hand if you think the answer is yes. Absolutely. Okay, so I had a person who, one of our members, such a wonderful overachiever, he actually went down to the municipality. You don't need to spend that kind of dime. In fact, it's the responsibility of the contractor. If he feels that the fees that are being allocated are not enough for the project, it's up to him to find out. So let's take our electrical permit. You see how my permit fee is $200. So let's go down to the section of the project that is electrical. And of course, this was done inside Genesis. We do nothing outside of Genesis anymore. Yay. Loving it. All right, so here's my electrical section. So now, what I have to do is to take you out of this and go back into, so you can see the fees. Work right up. There it is. Because I'm already in draws on this job. That's why I was looking for one where the feasibility study was still open for me to show you. So I have to just show you the report. Okay, so let me go down to the electrical section. And plumbing and electric. Okay, bingo. So there you can see total cost of my project is $6,925. And there you see my permit fee was $100. And then I had allowed for $75 for the labor allowance for the time it takes him to go down there. So now if you look at my plumbing, usually I make the permit and certification line item the very first line item. So here is my plumbing permit, $75 with $150 labor allowance, okay, because they said they were going to have to go twice or something. So the total is $225. So now the situation usually exists that whatever the number is that you put here, this number here is not the total from your work write-up. You do not include the labor number on this line. All right? You only put what you think the approximate permit will be. And as you can see, the contract, I put this in as my approximate estimate, but the contractor came in with different numbers, and we've changed it to match his numbers. So if someone said to me, well, do I add the labor cost for him to get it into this number? No. This is what the approximate cost is going directly to the municipality. That labor cost is part of the work write-up fee and added to the work write-up. Okay? So that's not part of that. It's only part of the paperwork for the fee for the actual permit itself, nothing more. So if you can go down here to plaster and drywall, there you can see I had $150, I have $75, so the total is $250, so this is higher than what's listed in the permit and certification form. Okay? So now, another issue that was brought up was when are permit fees paid? So now I'm going to take you right now to the allowable fees. Go back out to Genesis. Go to one that's in work write-up. Okay, good. There are two different ways you can pay for permits and other allowable fees. And you have your permit fees, and you total up what the total cost of the permits. Let's say the total cost of the permits is going to be about $1,000. Well, you can include it directly into the work write-up, which is the best way to go, because it's paid to the contractor who actually pulls the numbers at the time of settlement. However, you have an alternative that you can do, especially if the lender says, oh no, we don't put permits into our work write-ups. Okay, fine. Where do we do that? We add it as an allowable fee. And so here we're going to put in permit fees. And you can see I've done it in the past. So this is going to be paid at time of close. So I'm going to put in lender. I'm going to put in the fee. So I hit submit. So now on the work write-up, this number does not appear inside my specification of repairs, but it does appear on my total allowance for escrow, because it is added to the escrow, but it's paid outside of the work write-up. It's paid before you have to start your inspections. Okay, it's directly given to the contractor, and it's usually only paid out of the time of closing on rare situations when the permits are very high. For example, if you're having a municipal water sewage connection from prior private water, it is costly, sometimes $15,000 to $20,000 to connect a public water utility. Well, that permit, that connection fee is the municipal requirement, and they want that up front. And so that's not going to be able to be added to the work write-up because the contractor can get money up front. So if this is a special fee that's necessary to be paid before work begins, you need to include it as an allowable fee to be released at the time of settlement outside of your work write-up. And that would apply to, come on, where are we? Still taking time to load up. That would apply to things like structural engineering fees, architectural reports where he needs to complete the architectural drawings before the client can submit for the permits to be able to start the job. So in those circumstances, you're going to put that architect drawing fee into your allowable fee. So let me go down and show you that. So here you can see all my fees there. So here you can see the fees, the draw fees, my mileage, my feasibility study. Remember, you get $100 for feasibility, but I didn't get paid $100 when I went out to the property. I get paid my $427. Mileage from feasibility report, paid on contract, final work write-up, and then there's my permit fee paid at the time of closing. So now this is the amount that goes into the repair category of the escrow account. This is the amount that goes into allowable fees in separate fees, and this is the amount that goes in for the contingency. All right, so I got 15%, which is $79.64. You add that to the fees, so my total project, when you take the total cost of the repair plus the contingency plus my fees, is $64,000. So now let me help you visualize this a whole lot better. I'm going to actually show you now the report that's created by a lender. Let's go back to that page. Okay, scared me for a minute. All right, so I'm opening up my 203K active projects folder. I'm going to go to my completed jobs. So I'm going to show you this. This is a report that you have the right to ask a lender to give you anytime during the course of the project. And when you get it, you will fall in love with it. So let me make it a little smaller so you can see it better. This is an accounting report. It's an activity file. Okay. Can everybody see that? Because it looked like the screen hung for a second. Everyone can see it? Okay. If you can't see it, raise your hand. So this is accounting for 203K rehabilitation funds report, okay? So this is from the lender. Now, remember those three columns I told you about, categories. This is the repair amount, all right? So this is what we've allocated. This is not the same file that I just showed you. This is a different rehab file. So here you can see all of the draws that took place. Now, this was my first draw that was on 9/20. Well, the check got lost in the mail. So when I got back out there in November, because they had to wait for permits and fees and architectural drawings. When I got back out there in November to do a draw, I learned that the fee they never got that first check. And I said, you guys got to tell me. If you don't get a check within 5 days, call me. I would have had this taken care of. So we reversed that payment, and they issued a stop payment, and it corrected a new check. So that was that. Then we did another draw. Then we did an additional draw. So now, I always want to have a copy of this, and I actually will ask for it pretty much every other draw to make sure that the bank has documented it correctly, that they actually did everything the way I think it should. I put on the report, no transposition errors, etc. So here you can see the escrow funds is $124,000. The repairs were only $103,000, but we had other columns to take into consideration. There you can see I had a contingency of 15%. And that's, you want to get this report as soon as the project starts to confirm that they have allocated the right amount of funds in repairs, that they've got the right amount of money in contingency. And here you can see where on November the 2nd, I did a $2,200 disbursement from the contingency, and the lender took a holdback from that contingency and dispersed only $1,980. Here's the thing I want you to notice on this. Do you see any reference to plumbing, electric, heating, roofing? No. And this is why I love Genesis, because the lenders will keep paying. They don't care about the categories. We have all these categories, and we could possibly, and with the other software and with other softwares out there, you can accidentally over-disperse a category on a draw. You can pay out more than what is due to be paid because the contractor didn't realize that the report that he got paid for 50% last time, and so now he's asking for 70% this time, and you got over dispersed. Well, as long as the amount of money that is being paid in the draw, the total draw, does not exceed the available funds balance, they're going to pay it. Okay? And so with that being said, you need to make sure with Genesis you never have to worry about over dispersing, because Genesis stops that from happening. Okay? But this is why it can happen. So you're like, well, how can a lender over disperse? Didn't they realize that I had, put too much money in it and that I paid them too much? No, they don't see that. As long as there's still money to pay, they will keep paying. And here's the important thing to understand. And this is how you can really clearly visualize it. And I hope this really makes it crystal clear. When the lender, I'm going to highlight it in yellow, when the lender pays the draw and deducts the holdbacks, as he did, and only dispersed this amount, he still shows this much money. But in reality, this much money is not available because that $2,300 is earmarked to go to the contractor. So let's say you did a draw and you spent $15,950. You over dispersed. You would have used up the contractor's holdbacks. So to me, the lenders are not paying attention to this project the way they should, because they're not realizing that, okay, I have $15,000 I can pay to this client. They should only be referred. They should have the holdback and not deduct it. The amount that's approved for release should be what is the rolling balance should be generated from. Raise your hand if you understand how that can cause a problem. Okay? So this is important that you make sure you get a copy of this report, and that using Genesis, you'll never have this problem. But if you're using another system, good luck. If you over disperse, you're on your own. Okay? So now let's scroll down, and here you can see my inspection fees. Well, this was a problem for me because they only allocated $600 for inspection fees, and my inspection fees were at the minimum going to be 100 and some, you can see the one fee was $172, left $427. So they only had room for 3 draws. This was a 6-draw project. So after the end of the 3rd draw, they ran out of money. I know, because they sent me a check for $82 on a draw fee that was supposed to have been $122. Okay, so now granted, you might say, well, why is it $122? I said, because this is when draw fees were dropped down to $100 before we lobbied. Okay, now you see this one here says $222.62. So now I'd like somebody to unmute themselves and answer the question, why was my draw 100% higher on November 2nd?
Change order.
Change order, exactly. So I filed a $100 change order. So what should that lender have done? They should have deducted that $100 from here in the contingency, which is where I sent the change order, but instead they deducted it from the draw fees. So what had to happen for the next 3 draws? Where did all my next 3 draw fees come from?
Contingency.
That's right. They all came out of the contingency. But had I not known that, I would have had a problem because they weren't. They would have. When I saw an $82 check, I said, "Excuse me, someone owes me some money. You need to pay up." Okay. So here you can see that we had $600 allocated for inspection fees. You have $300 allocated for title updates. Now, what that is, for those of you who don't know, every time work is done and they budgeted for 3 $100 title updates. Excuse me, let me take some water. They had 3 $100 title updates. Every time a substantial amount of work is done, this house is now worth more. And so they update the title and the value of the house. So they'll do that repeatedly during the project. Okay, so this is for 3 of those. So that's allocated for $300 for that. And then for the person who asked, I believe it was Tom Kruger, what are some of these allowable fees? Well, here you can see what they are. Architectural and engineering fees. Your consulting fees go as an additional fee, which we know because it was in our allowable fee section. The permits, here you can see, if this customer allocated $1,950 for permits. Plan reviewer fees. So if you have to go back and review the plans again, that fee is allowable. Supplemental origination fee, that's a bank fee. Okay. Discount points on repair costs, and then you have just a general fee called other fees and unused fees. Okay, so these are the fees that totaled up to give me my $124,000. So you have 2 ways of doing it. You can put the permits inside this repair number here and pay it out of your draws, or you can add it to your allowable fees section, and one of 2 things happens. Either the title company or the closing conveyancer will cut this check at settlement, or what will have to happen is the borrower has to submit invoice to the lender, and the lender cuts them a separate check right out of this pocket here. Okay? Does this make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions about this? Tom, did that answer your question about what some of the other fees are?
Yeah, I was just going to, hello?
I'm here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is that also where we would add contractor bid meeting?
No, that would go under your, yes, but it would be included in your independent consultant fees.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Yes, yes, Jonathan, the lender will want to see proof of the permit. So what will happen is the borrower gets the permit before the first draw. And again, I need to see the permit before I'll pay the first draw. And here's the thing. I did not know that they had put this permit number inside here. I had my permit number built in here. So they were double dipping. They were double billed because I had put the permit inside my write-up, and the lender had put it here and didn't tell me to deduct it from here. So we had double billing. So what happened was they ran out of money in contingency. Trust me, we ran out of that $15,000 fast, and especially with my draw fees being tacked in there and change order fees. So what we were able to do is they were able to get this money back because they had the permits were paid out of the work write-up. All right, because it was included in there as well. So since I didn't know that they had a separate allocation for permit fees until I asked for a copy of this report in February, that's when I realized, okay, we're running out of money in contingency. No worries. You just need to submit your request to get this paid because you did get the permits already. And I've already paid the contractor. So since the contractor's been paid out of these funds, this money needs to come back to the borrower. And the lender was like, oh, I didn't know you guys did that. Okay, well, they didn't tell us, so go ahead and we'll cut the check. And so the client was happy because all she did was turn around and write the check over to the contractor to cover some additional change order items. So everybody was happy. Does that make sense?
Yep. What's the name of this report again?
This is called an Accounting for 203K Rehabilitation Funds Report, or we call it a rehab cost breakdown.
Okay.
And so if you say to a lender, may I please get a copy of your rehab cost breakdown or your cost breakdown report or your accounting report for this project, they'll love that you know this information, but they'll also appreciate the fact that you're trying to stay in track. And we never do a final inspection We never close out a project without having this report in hand to make sure that everything has been paid and that our numbers balance at that up to that point. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
This should balance with the, get together, the spreadsheet.
Correct. Exactly. Now, if this wasn't a closed project, I could show you the spreadsheet, but this project is closed out. So I can't show you the spreadsheet because it's a completed job. But yes, our Genesis spreadsheet, whoops, let me go back here. I closed Genesis by accident. Let me open it back up again. Yeah, the spreadsheet that we have, this should match perfectly. That's exactly right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So what else did I have on my agenda that I wanted to talk about? Nope, that was it. I wanted to talk about the camera and for permits and fees. Does anybody else have any more questions about permits and fees before we start letting you guys? Okay, Patrick, I'll unmute you. Go ahead and ask your question, Patrick. Good evening.
Oh, yeah. Good evening. So, Catherine, how often does that accounting report come out? Does it come out just in the beginning they produce that?
It doesn't. They have it. They don't produce it, and they don't release it ever. You have to request it.
Oh, you request it. Okay. And then is it a good idea to discuss with the lender up front that where the permit fees are, where you wrote in the permit fees?
Well, you see, here's the thing. You may not have that opportunity because, again, you might be dealing with a broker who hasn't determined where they're brokering this loan to.
Right.
And so you're going to put it in your work write-up, and you might not find out until underwriting, where the underwriter comes back to you and says, hey, we're brokering this loan with, Gateway, and they don't allow permit fees in the write-up. You need to move them out and move them to allowable fees. And you're like, okay, no problem. Now, when you do that, you're not going to change your permit insert form. All you're going to do is deduct it from your work write-up, specification of repairs, and add it to your fee invoice. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so you don't change this. You never change your permit insert form because it's still required. But
Right.
you take it out of here and put it into here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, so listen, while I have you on the line, we'll start with you for
Yep.
today.
I keep losing connection.
Oh, you okay? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and start with you. Go ahead and tell us your name, where you're from, and do you have any questions, or what's a success story that you want to share, or is there some challenge you'd like to share with us tonight?
This is Patrick Worrell. I'm from New Jersey, and my company is Continuous Support Home Inspections. I'm currently working on 3 HUD projects. One's 28,000, small one. Another one is 90,000, and another one is 180,000. You pretty much answered most of my questions. Was the fees? I'm glad you covered the fees.
Okay, you there? Hello? I think we might have lost him.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. I have a question on your feasibility fee.
Okay.
When you said paid on contract, do you have to date that? So, like, put a date next to that so they know that you got paid on that date?
No, because you're going to create and generate an invoice that's
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
included with your package, and that
Okay.
has a date on it.
How do you do your invoices?
It's right here. The system
that
creates
one.
it for you.
Okay.
And it dates it with the system date, and if you had clicked the button, if I had clicked the button that inserted my signature, it would have been a beautifully signed invoice.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good. Yep. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
No, none right now.
Okay, well, you know how to find us on the Skype group.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to skip down to the bottom of the list because I usually start at the top. So I'm going to continue with Wayne Hovind. Hi, Wayne.
Do you unmute me?
I hear you fine.
Okay, great. Wayne Wolven, all Southland home inspection. I'm in northern Los Angeles County, where it's sunshiny all year long. And right now I'm working on 2. I guess I lost my my inspector, so now I'm doing the work of 2 people. So it's a little tough to get out and market right now. But I did set up a nice marketing meeting with two two gals from Movement Mortgage, and they've already referred me one client.
Oh, Movement is trying to make a big, forgive the pun, movement into 203Ks.
Well, lucky for me, I am the only 203K consultant they actually know.
Yes, isn't it sad?
Yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations. And I will be seeing you in about a week or so. A little less, a little more than a week.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be there.
I will too.
Don't forget, there's a brewery right next door to Internachi's headquarters.
I
there.
know. As a matter of fact, we got to make a phone call tomorrow. I'm not sure if she's still on the phone, but if you are, Samantha, I need you to find out the name of that brewery from April at Internachi. Give them a call and see if we can arrange to have our group hang out there after Friday night session for Cinco de Mayo.
They have like some areas that are like multi-table in there too.
Cool.
So.
I hate beer, but it's okay. All right, so I'll watch you guys drink beer. Okay, so we all know I can't stand beer. I like ale. I like apple ale and stuff like that. So, but we all know what I drink, so we don't have to go there. But Wayne, what else is going on? Is there any questions that we can answer for you?
No, I just have to. I lost both inspector and a marketing person, so all at the same time. So I'm doing everything. I mean, I just have to get myself back on track.
I'm very impressed that you could have the foresight and the presence of mind to say, yeah, everything is swirling around, but I need to come to this training, because I've had people say, I can't come because we're too busy. And
I am too busy. I'll miss work. I mean, I'll probably miss 6 jobs. So I'll miss 6 inspections.
And you know I'll make it worth your while. I will make it
It's
worth
okay.
your while.
The other good part is my son goes to University of Northern Colorado, so I get to go have dinner with my son too.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Part.
Very cool. All right. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see you next week. And did you register for the call for Monday?
I got emails. I guess I did. I don't know.
You got to register. Did you click the link and register?
I don't know. I don't have time for that.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I don't know if I did or didn't.
Okay,
I don't know.
I will know because
the emails will still be here.
Yes, if you did not register for the webinar, if you just got the email and didn't register, click the button and register for it for Monday night's webinar, you'll know, because I'll be sending one last email to those who still haven't, and I think there's like 15 of you who still haven't registered yet. So I'm going to send one last email out on Sunday and probably have someone call everyone who hasn't registered, because we're going to go over what to expect for the class, what to bring for the weekend, and we're going to make sure everybody has their Genesis set up. So we're going to get everybody set up with Genesis.
All right, okay. I'm in.
All right,
I'm doing it right now.
All right, talk to you later. You take care and drink lots of water, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, I'll keep you open if you have any questions.
Okay.
Next is Vince. Hi, Vince. Can you talk? I just sent you an audio pin. Vince usually calls in on a phone. So, Vince, if you can hear us talking and you can start talking, just go ahead and do so. Otherwise, type in the chat box anything you want us to share. And Tom Kruger, I'm going to pick up with you. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, dear. How are you?
We're doing okay.
What's up in your world? Introduce yourself for those who are new.
Hi, this is Tom Kruger with Alert Home Inspection and Renovation Consulting.
Very
and
nice.
We've got a project that we're working on here in our hometown, and it's going slowly. We did a week or so ago, we did a draw inspection, which we met with all the city and contractor and client to review what the city was going to make us do, because the client wants to redo his basement, and the basement has a 7-foot height limitation. So it's being very interesting.
Oh, so the basement, they have a 7-foot height requirement on all floors, even the basement?
The basement, and the basement from the bottom of the floor joist to the top of the concrete is 7 foot dead. And the client wants to put first of all, the client wants to put in a bathroom in the basement.
Oh, he wants to rock it.
And then he wants to tile the floor, and he wants to put in drywall in the basement. But now the problem arises is that you've got a 7-foot dead to the ceiling or to the ceiling height. They're willing to go approve that, but at the bottom of the stairs, you have because the house was built, 1956. We have the wood main beam.
Yeah.
And when you step off the stairs, guess what? You're not at 7 feet. So the code people are saying you can't do this without cutting the beam, reinforcing, and other such things. So when you take out the beam and have to reinforce the floor, obviously, now you have to start moving all the heating ducts and
Oh wow, you're redesigning this whole base. Why don't you could save money, just dig out the basement floor, drop the floor a foot.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we also have to put in, they have decided that because it is a basement, we have to put an egress window.
That's right, we talked about that.
Yep, we sure did, although it's not a bedroom. It's a entertainment room.
Okay,
but
so now,
in their wonderful.
Tell everyone why that is still requiring an egress window, because we had this conversation.
Because if you have a Davenport down there, somebody could fall asleep.
And Davenport is couch for those of you who are not in it. So
okay.
If you have a couch, if you have drywall, that's flammable. If you have
Yes.
drywall and a conditioned space, even if they're not calling it a bedroom, okay, they're putting a bathroom down there. They've got a bathroom and a livable space. Someone's sleeping down there, whether they say they are or not, and we all know that, okay? So and the egress window is not for the safety of the occupants, as I explained to you. The egress window is to provide safety for the firefighters who might be trapped down there, because I believe we also discussed that the heater and the water heater and all the other flammable systems are down there as well.
Yes.
There you go. So this is why you have to have that egress window.
So it's for the safety of the firefighters more than it is for the individual.
Correct.
Oh, and then one of the other things, let me just bring this up because it may be an interesting point of conversation. My client is also putting in 7 new or replacing 7 windows. Floor height from the bottom of from top of the floor to the bottom of the window, I believe is like 40 inches.
Uh-oh, that's not going to work.
Guess where we're at?
Where?
40 and a half.
Are they going to give you guys a variance?
They're not talking about it.
Oh, no. Your township is harsh.
Yes. Well, they know what they have done is they are employing a contract company that does the their code inspection. There's no longer a compliance officer or code officer within the city.
So basically he's got this little Napoleon complex going on.
Yeah, they got two of them that we met with the other day, and it's like they want to replace the stairs that the rise is 8 inches, which was put in 1956.
Oh,
and
the 7-Eleven. So they want to make you replace an entire staircase, stringers and all.
Yep, for a 1/4 inch.
For a 1/4 inch. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? This is the kind of thing that can kill a deal, can kill a project, but it's nothing you can do anything about. Had you not found this out prior to closing, right? This is before closing, correct?
No, this loan's closed.
Oh.
And here's the other kicker. We asked the city ahead of time for what their restrictions may or may not be. And they referred us to their website. None of this was on their website. This has all come about after we had a meeting or the plans were submitted by the contractor to the city.
Ouch. Okay, well, there you go. So that's going to be a problem. And we'll keep in touch so that we can move forward with you on this, because it sounds as though either things are not going to get done or you're going to have to redivert funds to be able to make it work. So
Yeah, because the contractor's going like, well, we'll just put in change orders. So I went, no. You're not putting in change orders until you tell me what the costs are going to be for the requirements that the city's causing us to go through.
correct, exactly. And we'll talk about that on a future call, Tom.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, take care.
You too.
So I'd like to welcome Stephen Chase to our call. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
We're good. So are you enjoying our call tonight?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot. Learning a lot.
So tell us a little about who you are, where you're from, your company, etc.
Well, we're Bergen Certified Inspections. We are in the Coeur d'Alene, Idaho area. I was a contractor for 40 years, and we're doing home inspections and light commercial surveys. And through the InterNACHI group, we decided to start exploring this 203K, which there's a good niche market for that here.
Yes, it is. I have several lenders who are looking for consultants in your area. So I was thrilled when you decided to join us for this. Yay, team! I've actually did a lot of marketing in that area for lenders, and because it's a big growth market. So, so do you have any questions about what we've talked about today so far?
No, this is my first go around, so I'm just being quiet and learning, but I will see you next week.
Yes, and you'll be on the Monday call?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so just be at your computer. We're going to walk you through setting up Genesis on your computer so that everyone will be able to have the system on their PCs when they get to the event, or their iPads.
Yeah, I'll have an iPad with me. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Okay, well, we'll see you on Monday, and then we'll see you next Friday.
Will do.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you.
And one of my dear new members and friends who actually went so quickly to get his stuff done, Nelson Zavarella. Hi, Nelson.
Hey, how are you?
I am well. How are you this evening?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm new with you guys.
Not new, just new with this, just new in a legitimate, formal sense. But you've been hanging around with us you've been on the fringe. Let's put it that way for what, a couple years now?
No, I've been doing home inspection. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I've been doing home inspection for 14 years already.
No, I mean, you've been on the fringe of becoming a 203K consultant for
Yeah, oh, yes. That's, I was thinking to become a 203K inspector like 3-4 years ago when I assisted on one of your one-day events.
Mm-hmm. And Nelson signed up with us just a couple weeks ago in February, and has already submitted his package for certification.
That's correct.
And Nelson did an amazing job on his knowledge assessment test, and he's read my book, what, 3 times?
Two times.
Two times. He has it as his bedside reading, he says. It's next to his bed.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
So,
yes.
Nelson, is there any, this is your first call with us. Did you have any questions or anything?
Not really. This is my second time in your webinar. So,
Okay.
and yes, I was just following what you were explaining about to allocate the permit and all of the other items on the software. So, but I will be getting there too soon also and learning more about the Genesis system as well.
Yes, we need to schedule a one-on-one call so that we can set your Genesis account up. So I will not be taking calls next week because I will be in Boulder, but the following week I'd like to see if you can arrange a call. So if you need help setting that up, you can call Samantha and she can help take care of that for you.
Sure I will. Sure I will. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you. And I'll keep your mic open. Hi, Ludwig. Good afternoon. Good evening. You're self-muted, Ludwig, so you can unmute yourself. While he's coming back, Vince, are you there? Vince, are you there now?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Hi,
Hello.
Vince. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And yourself? You're sounding well. Good. You good there?
Thank you, dear.
Hey,
Thank you so much. What's going on?
Well, I've got a couple of quickies here for you.
Okay.
Copy of the appraisal report. Should we request that? Usually if there's a problem or something, they just send it right over. But I got one today that says, yeah, they've done it and everything, and we're just waiting to close. So, and things are kind of weird with it, a little bit here and there. So I just, I sent them back a quick email, you know, any chance of getting a copy of, you know, that appraisal so I can just do a quick review of it. What do you think?
I don't usually look at the appraisal reports. In fact, it's because the appraisals are not usually completed until after I've done my work write-up. I've only had to see a couple appraisal reports because appraisers have asked for things that they claimed I didn't include in my write-up, and I said, let me see this report. So, no, I don't usually actually ever have access to them.
Well, yeah, this I did the full write-up, and we submitted and everything. It went in last week and stuff, and the appraiser went out there and said, yeah, they went out and they did, and we got the report and all. So anyway, so I just, well, you know, send me a copy if you can. You know, I'd like to take a quick look at it. And I have a borrower today who bought a home about a year ago. They've been doing remodels and stuff, and now they want to do about another 45 grand. I said, well, you know, you ought to think about doing the 203. And he says, well, we owe about 116 or something. Can we just do the 45 on the 203K? I said, well, I think you have to do the whole thing, but I'll check and let you know tonight. What do you think?
Well, can you repeat your question?
Yeah.
I heard something about 45. Yeah.
They bought the house about a year ago, and they've been doing repairs and renovations out of their own pocket. And they got it to where they want to do about another 45,000. I don't know if they're going to take it out of savings or what. And I said, yeah, you ought to think about the 203K. You know, you go home style or whatever, and just to wrap it all up in one. And they said, well, we got a really good rate on the first 100,000 that we owe, and it's going up. So can we just do the 45 instead of like 145?
No, you cannot just, this is not a home equity loan or a cash out refi where you get a specific amount. It's an entire mortgage. So they have to pay off that first mortgage and pick up the new mortgage with the amounts for the repairs added into the new mortgage.
Yeah, well, I told them the other good part is that it's an assumable loan, an assumable mortgage. And
excellent.
If they want to let the grandkids or somebody took it over, then that would be available. So that kind of piqued their interest there. So then they asked this question. I said, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you can, but I'll double check on that and get back to you. So
no, you were right. They can't. They can't do that.
Yeah,
they have, it's a mortgage. It's not a refinance, so they have to pay the whole thing.
Yeah, because I think they're going to do the whole thing. Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah, I got two in right now, and kind of funny. This last one that we just sent in, the one I'm talking about, the appraisal thing. They were doing adding on like I don't know, 300-400 square foot addition, okay, onto this house. And then they changed it as well. We're going to put it on the back. And then they changed it again, and they're going back, you know, to the side. So we finally got everything all squared away and sent in. And what I told them, you know, when I do the full write-up, the price is this much. And, you know, then you get reimbursed, but you'll need a credit card when we do that. So last week, you know, we went to do that, and I asked for a credit card. They said, well, you know, it was $800 or $900. They said, you said it was, at the time, it was negotiable, and we feel like we'd like to pay $600 instead of $800.
It's not negotiable. You never said negotiable, did you? You said it's subject.
I might have. I don't remember.
No, it's not negotiable. It's not a negotiable fee. It's a variable. The word you want to use is not negotiable. It's variable. The fee varies based upon the repair amount. So you can't. So you said negotiable. Yeah. Well, I want to negotiate. Well, tell them if they want to negotiate for $600. Tell them you want to negotiate for $1,200. And why don't you settle for $900 in the middle? Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a place that's pretty. It's about an hour and a half drive away. So when I originally set it up, I said, you know, it's a long drive, and blah, 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 and we have to have this much and everything. So I'm looking at like $250 per draw on this guy.
Yeah.
And I explained to them why, and they fully agreed with it, you know, how borrowers are when they first start, and then they start thinking different things. I really don't remember that negotiable thing, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
for
you
a
know what?
couple
Oh, my
$100.
God, no, don't do that. Yeah, well, you know what you do? Give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? And then after closing, you ding them upside the head with change order fees.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had in the back of my mind, yeah.
But
We're
you know
gonna
what? Now you can get, now do you have one of these video cameras like I was showing tonight?
No, I don't. No, I'm going to have to look into that.
Okay, that way you can say, here, I'll play the recording and you'll hear that I did not say negotiate, that I said it was varied. It does not negotiate. It was a
Yeah.
variable fee. So that's important that
Yeah.
you don't use the term negotiable. It's not negotiable. It's not subject to any negotiation. Money is money. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
don't know
well,
where that came from, but
thanks,
take the
Vince.
word for it.
So
Thank
you're
you,
not, are
Kevin.
you,
Thank
you're
you.
not coming to our event in Colorado, are you?
No, we already have something else going on that weekend. I forget what it is, but we're not going to be able to make that.
Well, there's one more. We're having another event in Fort Lauderdale, and that's going to be October 7th through the 9th. So we're hoping as many of you as possible can attend that event. Okay? So
Well, I
we're
have a
having
sister in Canaveral, so maybe it's time to go visit my sister.
Maybe, exactly. So I just put that poll up.
All right.
Okay, so thanks, Vince.
Thank you very much. Take care,
Okay,
Kevin.
Ludwig, are you able to talk now? You're self-muted. And you're muted by the organizer. So let me see. All right, now you're self-muted. Try now. There you go.
We go.
Hi, Ludwig.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. How's the baby doing? How's Samantha, little baby, doing?
Oh, they were on the call first thing this evening. Did you see it? You didn't see them?
No, I didn't see him.
Yeah, she opened up the call with her. She's getting
Oh,
big as a house. My goodness, not Samantha, the baby. The baby's just
I know.
she's huge. So yes, so no, she started out the call today with her Eagles onesie on. How hateful is that?
There you go.
So what's going on in your world, Ludwig?
I've been very busy. 2 or 3 Ks is kind of slow right now. I haven't been able to push it a whole lot. So with a multi-inspection firm, I've got a lot of inspectors out there doing stuff. So I've been trying to get more into the 2 or 3 K.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's one of the things that we're going to be working on, talking about in upcoming calls, again, is marketing. And I'm actually doing 2 marketing events coming up in May and June. And what I'm going to possibly do is ask the people at the event if I can wear this camera on my chest so they can actually hear me, so I actually can videotape for you me doing a live workshop for real estate agents. So I think you'll find if you just simply go to real estate offices and just simply say, hey, I have a presentation that will update your agents about 203K, I bet you'll find you'll have a real easy entree into offices.
Oh, I know I will. We've been so slammed with the director inspections that I've been handing stuff out to the agents. I just got to get stuff printed up.
Okay. All right. Well, you get your monthly success supplies, so you can use that.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Hey, Jack, you're next. Jack, you there? There you go. Hi, Jack.
I've got Jack Jackson here, Total Home Inspection Services in Northern Arizona. I've got a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock with 45 agents. This is the same guy that did a meeting a month or so ago that I think I talked to you about a bit.
Yes.
I sent you the slideshow, the PowerPoint that he uses.
Oh, yes, I know. We went over it, remember?
Right. You told me it was very similar to the one that you use or have. So, basically, what I'm looking for are bullet points for tomorrow morning when I stand up and, do my little 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay. I can help with that real quick. All right. So basically, here's the best bullet points for you guys to use whenever you find yourself in front of a 203K. project. Okay, hang on for a second. I'm going to open up the page and then I will unlock the screen. All right, so let me go to there. All right, so in the presentation that you all have in your thumb drive called What's in It for Me, okay, on the 203K, it's the presentation called What's in It for Me.
I cannot find my thumb drive.
You can't find your thumb drive?
No, I've searched. I just.
Okay, I can give you a link to the information. No worries, no worries. I can get you the and I'll give everybody tonight. I'll give everybody the link to the Dropbox file. Come on, let's go. What you want to do is, and it's opening up now. Hold on for 1 second.
In the meantime, I'm using your contract that you had put up for your feasibility study at $255.
Yes.
Okay, so that's $255 without the home inspection. You discount it to about $120 if they do the home inspection with you, right?
Whoa, what do you mean $255? You mean 4?
For the
My
feasibility?
feasibility fee is $400.
Okay, I must be looking at an older contract from you.
Yeah, if you look at the contract that's in Genesis, it says $400 as a non-refundable preliminary report fee.
And that's the feasibility study.
That's the feasibility study, correct.
$400. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
How
so
much of that comes out of the work write-up? You know, discounted.
300 of it. 300 of it is subtracted from the work write-up, the final work write-up cost. So as we've talked about before, if the work write-up is 800, then 300 of that is credited toward that, and then the other 500 is due at the time of delivery of the report.
Okay.
So here's the bullet points. I'm going to unlock the screen. Hold on for 1 second. I've got to find how to stop that. All right, good. And there you go. Okay, so this is the presentation, What's in It for Me. Okay, and it's why every real estate agent should know about 203K. And here is what are the bullet points. There are about 5. And these are the most critical bullet points that you want to be able to nail down in your mind and use whenever you're talking to any agent. 1, reduce the number of homes you have to show the buyers, because you don't have to keep finding the perfect home, because any home can be the perfect home. So that's that point right there. 2, no need to worry about what conditions are. If it's a foreclosed, if it's a short sale, if the utilities are off. None of those things matter. Everything can be done with the 203K. And you don't have to worry about if the property is vacant or abandoned. You also don't have to worry about if the seller doesn't have any money to make repairs. That's not a problem either.
That's still part of number 2?
That's still part of number 2, right. It's no need. So you've got 1, reduce the number of homes you have to show the buyer, because any home can be the perfect home.
Right.
And 2, no need to worry about what conditions are, because we can do anything with the property. So abandoned, vacant, vandalized, all these can be easily turned into a 203K. All right, so that's the second point.
Including desired or cosmetic now, right?
Exactly. Okay, and the other thing that works with the 203K is the reason why it's a good thing for real estate agents to do this is that it frees you up to go on to other projects, because we take over all the necessary activities for you. We help your client find the contractors. We manage, take into it, we find out what the costs are to do the repairs, and we help them be able to fit the project into their budget. So the 3 biggest things are: 1, any house can be the perfect house. You don't have to go around taking into millions of homes. 2, no negotiation with the seller. No worries about houses being vandalized, vacant, short sale, foreclosed, whatever. That doesn't matter. And 3, we're a one-stop shop that can take care of everything and can guarantee that at the end of the day, you as the real estate agent look like the star, not only to your current client, their friends and family, the seller who saw how quickly and easily they got out of the transaction, and your past customers. So that that in a nutshell is the presentation that you want to, that is the theme of every presentation that you give. Does that help? Does that help all of you guys?
Yeah, it does. It helps me anyway. I have a question for you though. one of the things that I like to, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'd like to be able to say that now, and the way that he explains it too, is once the loan is made, after the appraisers, come in, the real estate agent gets their commission on the sale at that point. And they're pretty much done and out of the picture, right?
That's right.
That's where I take over for them as their representative. I take their clients with kid gloves and walk them through all the rehab. And what I didn't realize before was that I really can't ask for their help in a lot of areas, like finding contractors that they're happy with, helping with selecting products and all of that as far as install. Am I correct there? So
you can ask the buyer's opinion and desires, but the real estate agent isn't even involved in any of those discussions.
Right, because a lot of these agents are sitting there looking at, it seems to me that they think this involves more work for them. And what I try and get across is once we do the 203K with the money for repairs in there and the lender closes on it, you're paid, I take over,
See the sign here? It's as easy as unlocking the door. One call does it all. You will connect as long as the real estate agent has connected it with you, the buyer with you, you'll make all necessary appointments, and you will see to it that your client goes to settlement because you are motivated to see them on the other side of closing just as much as a real estate agent is, because you're going to get your fees on the other side of closing too.
Okay, and the last thing is, how much of these fees should be put up front for the client to pay or deferred for the lender to pay?
What do you mean fees? Like your consulting fees?
My consulting fees, draw fees?
Every fee, the draw fees are all 100% escrowed and paid after closing out of the proceeds, okay? But the consulting fees, they must pay them up front because you can't get a guarantee that you are going to get a payment.
Right, so the $400 up front for the feasibility study.
Yes.
If it's not feasible, I keep that. If it is feasible to do, I do a work write-up and take $300 out of that, right?
Exactly, and credit it toward the work write-up fee.
What would cause something not to be feasible if they didn't?
Oh my God, are you kidding? Were you not listening to Tom Kruger's situation? Now, had he learned about those things before closing?
Typical example in front of a bunch of realtors. I want to be able to say a bad, it would not meet feasibility if the buyer was not approved for enough money to cover repairs that are mandatory.
Exactly. Or more to the point, it turns out that there are more mandatory repairs than the borrower thought, and they don't want to buy the home because they really earmarked the money for desired improvements, and they don't want to spend all of the money they wanted to use for a new kitchen or upgraded bathrooms to put into, heating, cooling, and electrical, the things that they thought were okay. But I think a real simple example, a really simple, easy example that works for most real estate agents is that you get to the property and you find that there's a major structural crack that no one saw and no one knew about, and now you have a major structural problem and the seller's not willing to lower the sale price. They're getting out of the deal with a report by you that they can use to withdraw their offer and get their deposit refunded.
They can use a feasibility study to
get their... Correct, because it's failure to obtain mortgage.
Well, that's another thing I need to mention then.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely. Oh, no, now, don't get me wrong. There's not only 3 things you mentioned. I'm just giving you the top 3.
Okay, well, you got a cheat sheet that you could shoot me? Yeah, no, I made my notes here. So.
There is a cheat sheet, a matter of fact, and I just had it up because I'm including it in the packet that I'm giving out to the people who are coming to the Discovery Days. So let me go to that folder. Hang on for 1 second. Let me scrounge around for it. And let's see. And so, Jack, while I'm doing that, I'm going to go on and talk to Dan Carroll, and so we can be able to get finished quickly. So I'll put that cheat sheet up on the screen, and then I will send it to you all in a link in a few minutes. Okay?
Thank you, Catherine.
All right. Take care, Jack. I'll see you next weekend.
Yep.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Dan.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm glad to hear it. What's going on?
I just did a feasibility study yesterday. So we'll just see what happens.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And where was that, in Kentucky, my favorite new state?
Yeah, well, it was in Louisville is where it was at.
Excellent. And how did it go?
Well, I don't know. I think what you had mentioned earlier, you know, people, you know, there's more issues with, you know, mandatory versus desired. So people struggle.
Yes, yes, they do struggle with that. Okay, and so what did you tell them that you were going to be providing them?
Well, I basically told them I'd carry them all the way through the system, and once they decide they want to go with the work write-up, so I think that's where they're at right now. They're kind of soaking it in.
Okay,
Hello.
I get it. That makes sense. Was there anything we can help you with? Any questions that you have today?
No, not really. I'm just listening to what everybody else is doing, and sounds familiar.
Okay. Are you going to be joining us next week?
No, I don't believe so. I've got surgery next week, so I will be going.
Oh, that's right. You did mention that, and I hope you're getting well very quickly.
Okay.
And so you'll get ready to come to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, it's funny you said that. I'm going to be in Miami in June, so I don't know if I can make that one or not.
Stop it. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. All right, so I will hope to see you, and I'm gonna attract you to come in. I'm gonna basically will you to come to Fort Lauderdale with us. That's what I'm gonna put in my plan. All right, so you guys see what's on the screen now? This was an image that I took. It's actually out of the booklet that everyone's getting who's attending the event. So I'm giving a little bit of a spoiler alert for Steve and people who are coming to the event, Jack and Chad, but this actually is a cheat sheet on things to say to real estate agents to get them interested in the 203K loan program. How does that sound to you, Dan?
That works.
Okay, so let me save this, and I'll stick this into there. I'll stick it right in that folder, and I'll send you guys a link to it. So this is, and this is on your thumb drive, by the way. This is actually available in your thumb drive contents. But I know some of you, one person that didn't have his thumb drive anymore, so we'll get that for you. So this was done. All right, so I'm going to close this out. So it sounds like you're doing good to go, Dan.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Excellent. Okay. Well, then that makes it work for me. Let me close this out. And so there it is, things to say about 203K. So let me just drag that over here to the handouts. I'm going to put it in right now. There's already 2 handouts in there for you. The 203K Data Discovery handout, and here I just sent it over to everybody. Do you all see it? Where it says under handouts, I just added it, things to say to agents about 203K. Do you see that, everybody? Dan, do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so you guys can download it to your computer right now. Steve, you don't have to because we're going to give it to you in your booklet that you're getting next weekend. Okay, so last but not least, I shouldn't even let you get unmuted, Eagles fan you. Hi, Chad.
All right, Catherine.
Do you want me to bring you anything Eagles related to Colorado? Do you want something from here?
No, anything I want I can find online.
This is true too. Exactly. Yes. So I know that the draft is taking place right now, so I really appreciate you taking time out from the most important thing right now, which is the football draft.
If I was to watch anything for sports, I'd be watching more baseball than anything.
Oh, it's baseball, right? Still on baseball season. Okay. So what's going on in your world? Looking forward to seeing you next weekend.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you and everyone else and getting the great learning experience. As far as in my 203K world, I've got a little bit of a unique situation. Maybe you've seen something like this before, don't know, but I had one project. They closed on their loan because it was a purchase, and the contractor began work. He's done the work. I went out, I did the first draw inspection. I was not able to process any of the draw inspection. Still haven't been able to, and this has been 3 weeks ago because
nobody signed it.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was the original loan company. They sold it off to another company who was then purchased by a third company, and this entire process got lost in the mix of everything.
And he's not funded yet.
Correct. So the contractor's getting a little irate.
Oh, I bet he has. So what's happening?
I actually just saw an email right before the webinar here, so I haven't been able to respond or do anything with it. Of course, the bank's closed, so I couldn't talk to anyone. So tomorrow I got to get in touch with whoever the current lender is, and like, okay, who do I need to send this to? This is what's going on, and we need to get this one paid, and I'm going to have another draw inspection coming up here within a week or two. And well, actually not even a week or two. It's really going to be probably within a week, just because it'll be gone for that next Friday and all that. So just trying to deal with all that stuff.
I have had that situation. In fact, when Wells Fargo, about 10 years ago, actually, Wells Fargo got so backed up with so many 203Ks and so much foolishness that I had submitted 3 and 4 draws for a project that they didn't pay. They had, matter of fact, it got to the point. That is exactly the reason why on my work write-up, I have the contractor sign and acknowledge that they are personally responsible for my draw fees should the lender not pay it. Because I had oh my gosh, I had Wells Fargo was into me for about $3,000 in draw fees, to the point where I said, I'm sorry, I will not come out and do draws unless you pay me personally, Mr. Buyer, and when the check does come, I'll sign it back over to you. So yes, this can be a problem, and especially with a new loan, and it's frustrating because I tell my contractors, don't start work on day one. Okay, go pull your permits, yeah, but don't spend a whole lot of money until we've found out where we're going to get paid. So that first draw is the hardest one to get, because once you've got that first one paid, it's all there. But I do tell them, don't pay right away.
Yeah, and I've been dealing with the original loan company just for like what's going on, who do I need to talk to, who do I send this to, because I knew this was going to a different company because I knew they were selling it off. But it's just one of those that they couldn't give me any information. They didn't even have a 203K loan number for this.
Yeah, they didn't know. Yeah, they don't. It wasn't assigned. It hasn't been funded. There's no money anywhere because nobody's funded the loan. The money's in limbo.
Correct.
Well, I feel sorry for your contractor because I know that makes him frustrated and it makes him not feel comfortable about doing these jobs again. And that's not good for you. But all you can do is demonstrate how much you're doing for him. Show him how much you're going out of your way, how much you are really fighting for him to get paid, and let him know that, you know, I'm working with other lenders. This doesn't happen all the time. And I'm here for you, and I hope you can see that I'm really fighting for you. So he may not want to work with this lender again, but he may be willing to do 203Ks again with you. And he might even get to the place where he says, I will only do 203Ks if Chad is the consultant, because he's the only one who looks out for my interests.
Well, that's the beauty of, with where I'm at in Central Illinois, there's no one else doing this stuff. I actually have a lender that wants to send me 4 hours south to do something down there.
You know, this is why I'm holding this event. This is why do you know we sent out about, 500 postcard invitations to all over the country where there are needs for consultants, because there is a need. There is a serious need, and no one's there to fill it. And why should you spend half your life driving 4 hours and have the client have to pay this exorbitant mileage charge, you know, round trip at that point, because it's an 8-hour round trip run.
Yeah, that guy in
round trip for a 30 to 45-minute draw inspection, spending 8 hours on the road.
Yeah, that gentleman down in Louisville, he'd be a whole lot closer if he'd get set up to be part of Illinois.
That's what we're working on. We're working on trying to have some cross certification, and we're also working on getting more consultants all around the country. If there's a home inspector, if there's a need for home inspection in an area, then there's a need for 203K consulting. And that's what we're going to be speaking about. And that's why I'm hoping so much and working so hard to make this event as successful as possible, so that it can be a pilot program that we'll hold 3 or 4 times a year to grow our base of members. So I'll see you on the webinar on Monday, but if we don't, because you already are using Genesis and you're already good to go, just know that you need to bring your tablet, laptop, or whatever device you're going to document your Genesis reporting in.
Yep, I plan on being on the webinar. I don't have anything hardcore scheduled for Monday, so I'll have time, and then I'll make sure I have everything with me for the House of Horrors.
Excellent. Okay. Well, you don't have to bring a whole lot of tools. They have all the tools there you need.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later, Ted. See you next week. Okay, Patrick had one more question. Patrick, you said you have 2 more questions. Make them quick.
Okay. I'm going back to the fees, the permit fees. I noticed that you added to the GC's allowable fee of $75 going for the permits in the electrical category. So does it depend on the? I know you're not adding it into the category, but I put mine on the total permit part.
But you can't do that because that's not a cost
The fee
of
schedule.
permit.
I'm at the fee schedule.
Okay, you don't put that in your fee schedule. That goes in the work write-up. It's a labor cost to the contractor, for the contractor, when he pulls the permit.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
It's his time and effort to drive down to City Hall, stand in line, and get the permit.
Right, I understand. Okay.
And so I'm allowing for 1 hour for permit fee. Now, the reason why that one was listed for a 2-hour labor is because that municipality is so far from where this house is, it's a 2-hour ride. It's a 1-hour drive to that township's municipal office for the electric, and then another hour back. So the electrician subcontractor had already told the GC, I need $150 for my time and effort to go get the permit. Does that make sense? You broke down. Are you still there, Patrick?
Yeah, I just got the sound back. So I guess I messed mine up because I put it on the fee schedule.
Oh, did you close yet?
No.
Take it out. Unless the lender wants unless you put all the permits, unless you put all the permit fees there.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well then find out, and if that is the case, it means they're going to get paid outside of your work write-up. And here's the other thing about that. You've got to make sure that they do get paid, because sometimes they don't know that that money's been held outside of escrow, and the contractor is looking for you to pay them in a draw, and you can't. And that's why I try to keep them inside my draw so I can keep control of the money.
Oh, I see. So the way I did it, I can't be inside the draw?
No, because you're double billing them then. If you have it as an allowable fee, you're double billing.
Okay, so then the lender has to cut it.
Yes, yes.
I got it. The other thing is, the other question was, are you charging $300 draw fees now, or does it depend on the approved loan amount?
Am I charging what? You were muffled a bit.
Since we got approved on higher draw fees, are you charging $300 draw fees now?
No.
Or does it depend on the approved loan amount?
It depends on the location. And I mean, it depends on the size of the project. My typical draw fee is $225. It's $225 or it's $200 with mileage. If its mileage is more than $25 one way, then I'm going to just take a $200 and charge a mileage rate. But I stick at $200. Then if I have a duplex, I charge $250. If I have a triplex, I charge $275. I'm sorry, $300. And if I have a quad, I charge $350. My number goes up by the number of units.
Okay, I got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to let you all go back to the draft and anything else that you're doing on this balmy, warm, muggy night. And I will look forward to seeing many of you next week. Yes, yes.
Quick question.
Sure.
When's the last date we can sign for House of Horrors in case something changes here?
You've got until Sunday. That last chance to sign up is Sunday. We're cutting it off on Sunday.
Sunday the 29th?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Good night, Catherine.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks much.
Have a great day. I look forward to seeing all of you next week.
Take care, everybody.
I look forward to seeing you guys in Fort Lauderdale, or more likely, I'll see you on the tech call on the second Thursday morning in May. Have a great day, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.